For over 1,000 years, Korea was a single unified kingdom, distinct in language, culture, and identity. Dynasties like Goryeo and Joseon shaped its traditions, and Hangul, its unique writing system, became a symbol of national pride. Korea was known as the Hermit Kingdom, cautious and protective of its sovereignty, preserving its way of life through centuries of turmoil. But the 20th century brought imperialism. Japan, seeking power, annexed Korea in 1910. Overnight, a millennium of independence vanished. Japanese rule was harsh. Korean language and names were banned, culture suppressed, and resources exploited. Millions were forced into labor, and during World War II, the suffering only deepened. Yet, Koreans resisted. Through protests like the March 1st movement and armed struggle abroad, these acts of defiance kept hope alive, even as Japan's grip tightened. By 1945, as Japan faced defeat, the dream of a free Korea seemed within reach. But liberation would not bring unity. Instead, it set the stage for a new, more complicated division. The fate of Korea was about to be decided not by its people, but by foreign powers. The story of one Korea was ending, and a new divided chapter was about to begin. The peninsula's future would be shaped by forces far beyond its borders, and the consequences would echo for generations. 1945. Japan surrenders and Korea is suddenly free but not truly independent. The US and Soviet Union, now rivals, hastily divide Korea at the 38th parallel, meant as a temporary fix, but it quickly hardens into a border. Two new leaders emerge. In the north, Kim Il-sung, a Soviet-backed communist. In the south, Syngman Rhee, an American-backed nationalist. Both are authoritarian, both dream of unifying Korea under their rule, and both are propped up by superpowers. Two governments, two ideologies, one divided people. The peninsula becomes a front line in the Cold War. Tensions rise as each side claims legitimacy. The division, meant to be brief, becomes entrenched. Families are split and the seeds of conflict are sown. The world watches as Korea stands on the brink. The powder keg is set, waiting for a spark. That spark ignites in June 1950. North Korea invades the south, aiming to unify the peninsula by force. The world is stunned. The US and a UN coalition rush to defend South Korea. General MacArthur's daring Incheon landing turns the tide, pushing North Korean forces back. But as UN troops near China's border, China intervenes, sending waves of soldiers and forcing a brutal stalemate. The war devastates Korea. Millions die, cities are destroyed, and the front lines barely move. In 1953, an armistice halts the fighting, but no peace treaty is signed. The war never officially ends. The 38th parallel remains the dividing line. The Korean War becomes a symbol of Cold War conflict, its scars still visible today. The peninsula is left shattered, its people traumatized. The dream of reunification slips further away. The legacy of war cements the division. The armistice creates the DMZ, a tense fortified border splitting north and south. North Korea, under Kim Il-sung and his dynasty, becomes isolated and totalitarian, suffering famine and economic collapse after Soviet support ends. South Korea, after years of dictatorship, transforms into a vibrant democracy and economic powerhouse. The contrast is stark. One nation, two realities. Occasional summits and family reunions offer hope, but progress is fleeting. The North's nuclear ambitions keep tensions high. Decades pass, but the fundamental divide remains. Both governments refuse to compromise on their visions for Korea's future. The DMZ stands as a symbol of unresolved conflict. Reunification feels distant, almost impossible. Yet the shared history and longing for unity persist. The world watches, hoping for change, but the peninsula remains frozen in time. Why is Korea divided? It's a legacy of colonialism, superpower rivalry, and war. An arbitrary line drawn by outsiders split a nation that had been whole for centuries. The result, two countries, one people, living vastly different lives. Families remain separated, destinies shaped by a border neither side chose. The unresolved conflict keeps the region on edge. North Korea's nuclear threats make peace elusive. For Koreans, the Cold War never truly ended. The division is a daily reality, not just history. It's a powerful lesson in how global politics can fracture lives for generations. The hope for reunification endures, but the path remains uncertain. The story of Korea is unfinished, its future still unwritten.